Hi guys, welcome back. This is Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews. Today we are going to talk about the glute slide. Now, I have got to be completely honest. When I saw this thing, I was not initially impressed. I actually put off testing it for quite a while. I went ahead, did a ton of research, looked at the reviews that they had on their website, and was kind of surprised. So they have 5 stars out of 40 reviewers. All of the reviewers love the versatility of this machine. Felt like it was easy on their body, gave them a good glute pump, but I still wasn't convinced. So much so that I actually put off testing this thing for a couple of months. Now, finally, I have tested it, and I would say that I have changed my tune. I do have a couple call-outs to it, but overall, I was actually kind of impressed with the function of this machine. So if you are looking for an easy-to-use machine that creates or provides a lot of versatile movements that you can do with this, then keep watching. But first, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Also, if you want to go ahead and purchase this, we've made it super easy. Place the link below the like button. When you use that link, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give us a small commission. And that is how we continue to do videos like this one. So thank you so much for doing that. Alright, so let's first talk about the cost of this glute slide. It is kind of astounding. I was a little sticker shocked. It is priced at $995, and that is on sale. It might always be on sale. They have their original price listed at around $1,200. But that is $1,000 for a machine. Now, one thing I have to keep in mind is this isn't just like a single-use unit, right? So if you buy a hip thrust machine, you're at least going to spend $800 on like a somewhat okay one, and then the price only goes up in that, but you're only really going to be able to do hip thrusts on that machine. With this, you are going to spend closer to that $1,000 mark, but there are a lot of movements that you can do. It is not just, again, that single-use machine. Now, is this an absolutely necessary piece that I would say you have to have in your home gym? Like, no. But for the right person, I think that it could be really beneficial. For me personally, I love the feel of a barbell in my hand, so I am going to opt for squats. I'm going to opt for hip thrusts. Even if that means I don't have a hip thrust machine, I would still rather do them with the barbell. And then adding in some other stuff like cable kickbacks, that's more my speed. But if you are somebody who likes to do maybe more Pilates style training, then this is one to consider. Now, the machine itself comes with very stable uprights that have handlebars on them, and then it also has a foot wedge to basically provide maximum power outfit or like maximum power leg drive while you're using this machine. The resistance on this goes all the way from 0 to 120 pounds. However, you can go ahead and buy the Pro Pack, and that's going to bring your resistance level up to 180 pounds. The way this works is it has 6 bands, each of those bands weighing 20 pounds, then bringing your total resistance profile to 120 pounds. Or if you go ahead and buy the Pro Pack, each resistance band is 30 pounds, again, 6 bands, bringing your total resistance profile to that 180 pound mark. The elastic resistance within this allows for a lot of like sports performance type movements where you can really like accelerate that momentum and then also have that resistance and that deceleration. So a lot of people online like to use this in terms of either like physical therapy stuff for athletes or a lot of like sports performance where you're really kind of having to like get off that block, that start position. Maybe you're training sprinting, you're trying to run fast, and you're trying to like maximize that leg drive power. Now, the glute slide itself does come with wheels, and then the whole machine only weighs 80 pounds, so really easy to move around from place to place. The one thing is if you try to move it on carpet or turf, like forget about it. Like, it's not going to happen. It basically just comes to a standstill. The wheels do not catch at all, and you're basically just going to have to drag the machine over carpet or over your turf. If it's a concrete floor, if it's a gym floor, you're going to have no problem. If you decide to purchase this machine, it is free shipping, and then it will ship within 7 to 10 days. It says on their website they try and process that order within 1 day of receiving it, so hopefully within the span of a week, you'll receive your machine. If you decide that you do not want this machine after you've gotten it, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So essentially, at the end of that month, if you decide this is just not for me, this is not what I am looking for, you can go ahead and send it back to the company for a full refund. In terms of its warranty, the frame, handlebars, and then that slide platform are covered for up to 3 years, whereas the resistance bands on it are only covered for 90 days. Now, keep in mind, you are going to have to change out the bands eventually. So just like with any other sort of like elastic band, any sort of resistance bands, the more you use it, the more it's going to stretch, the more elastic it's going to become, and then you're not going to have that tension like you would have when you first started using it. So on the website, it says that if you are using it 3 to 4 times a week, then they recommend changing out those bands about every 6 months. However, if you are only using the machine 1 to 2 times a week, then you can kind of go ahead and get away with only changing it out about every 9 months. But just make sure that you're keeping an eye on it. Now, Pete Holman, who is a certified strength coach, he actually created the Glute Slide. He has also coached professional athletes in like the NFL, the NBA, and he is a U.S. national Taekwondo champion as well as a coach. His purpose in creating this machine was really to help kind of those athletes in specific movements while also keeping just like the whole body in mind with that physical therapy background. I will say this was really easy on my body. You know, sometimes we load up heavy barbells and our bodies start to ache, like because again, it's just heavy. My body felt really good while still receiving like a completely good pump while I was using this machine. Both side rails and then the custom patented push pins are composed of a high grade aluminum, and then the handlebars are made of a 16 gauge steel. So really this felt really solid. Like I have no complaints in terms of like its durability or its structure. It felt actually more like what you would see in something like a commercial setting because of the high quality that it is built with. Now you can do like countless exercises on this Glute Slide. If you go to their website, it'll have a tab that says exercises. They provide like a whole list of libraries on how to do a variety of different movements. A couple of the ones that I found really good were the ab crunch, the butterfly goblet squats, and then the rear lunge. However, one thing to keep in mind is even with all those movements, I never felt like I got this like full range of motion, which is something that I always am trying to be aware of in my training. Like I want that deep stretch. I want that full ROM. This kind of missed the mark for me on that. Even when I was doing like a rear lunge, my knee didn't fully go to the ground or my leg didn't fully extend, and I'm only 5'4". So if you are somebody taller, that's going to just impact again that full ROM that you're going to be able to get. With the goblet squats, there was no real way that I was able to maintain that deep squat position as I was doing it. And I know that it's training a totally different way, but for me, that is something that I just wish that it would have done a little bit better in terms of movement overall. But that is such kind of like a nitpicky thing because while I was doing those butterfly squats, I grabbed a dumbbell kind of just to create some more weight on it. Like I definitely felt my gluteus maximus burning. Like there was like no question to whether or not this was actually activating my muscles. It fully did. The assembly on this is really easy. Essentially, all you're going to need to do is put the handlebars together on that upright and then go ahead and attach that upright to that main platform. It should take one person less than 10 minutes, and then all of the hardware is included with it. So again, super easy process. And then in terms of rechanging the resistance bands, we haven't done that yet, but we are going to eventually in the future. We have people coming in and testing products a lot. So eventually those will have to be changed. Maybe we'll do an updated video, let you know how that process goes. But again, according to the website, it should take one person less than 10 minutes to change out all of those resistant bands. Now, the Glute Slide can accommodate users up to 300 pounds, which just allows a lot of people to be able to use it. There was no sort of like height indicator on like how tall or how short. I mean, in general, I think most people can use this. But again, if you have long legs, you might not be able to get that like full outstretched position. Another thing to consider, let's say you go ahead and buy the Pro Pack, getting you to that full 180 pounds of resistance. There's really no way to progress beyond that. So one thing you can do is go ahead and bring dumbbells in the mix. I did find that when I added dumbbells into the movements, it made it a lot more challenging, kind of completely changed the game in terms of the movement and what I was doing. But I know a lot of people who 180 pounds of resistance might not be enough for them. Granted, I don't think that this machine is necessarily for those people. So I would say if you are somebody who likes to train more Pilates and you don't want to spend over double the cost of even what this machine is on a Pilates machine, I think you could do a lot of Pilates movement within this machine as well. Get a good burn, get a good pump, and then there's a lot of stretching that you can also do while using this machine. Overall, I think that the cost of this, I just don't know if it's worth it. Again, it's $995. There's a lot of gym equipment you could buy with $1,000. So would I spend $1,000 on a single-use machine? For me, personally not. But again, I don't train like everybody else. And speaking of prices, I mean, gym equipment is expensive and it almost seems just to be continuing to raise in price. We get a lot of comments when we say like, oh, this is a budget-friendly piece of equipment. People are like, this is not budget. And I'm like, I mean, in some regards it is. Like, prices are crazy right now. So let us know in the comments what you would spend on this Glute Slide machine. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, I just have to say, Kyle at Kaizen DNY, he is like the master DIY of gym equipment. I would love to see what he could come up with in creating a similar machine with a DIY project. I mean, I think that would be total badass and cool. So Kyle, if you're up for it, give me a call. Let me know. This has been Lindsay with Garage Reviews. Peace.